live for my dogs, die for my dogs. Ride for my dogs, live for my dogs, die for my dogs. Because it's...
It's so weird.
What,
like
Tempe?
It's built around the mountain.
No, that's fantastic. That's great.
It looks just so weird.
That's sick. That's like a cool part of Arizona. Our football stadium is in the middle of a fucking mountain. What do you have
Wait, the football stadium's in the mountain?
That's what that is.
We just got to the airport. We are heading to Austin, Texas with the boys. We got a group of 4. Not even really sure what the reason is for this trip. We're just kind of going to go.
I have elevator tickets. Don't worry, sir. I have elevator tickets.
We will make it.
This man Cam is so terrible at telling us when to go to a flight. He's like, we board at 2 o'clock. Later find out we actually depart at 2 o'clock. So we're in a hurry here. God saved us though, because flight was delayed. Jesus Christ gave us 30 minutes extra. How are we feeling, boys?
I'm feeling gay.
I'm feeling... Well, I can't put that in. I can't even film and put anything in the vlog. Listen, the secret is never a dull moment. And you're in charge of all your moments. So don't let them be dull. Sharpen them up. Do some stabbing. Do some puncturing. Do some lacerating. Make it happen. Alright, so we just made it to Austin. We're gonna go head back. Just got an Airbnb, so we're gonna go drop all our shit off pretty much at the Airbnb. And then we're gonna go head to a steakhouse and have a good night. Talk about dessert?
Let's talk about dessert.
Dessert is...
Oh, we're gonna get some dessert, alright.
Dessert is...
Oh, we're gonna
Dessert.
get some dessert. This looks like the Boise airport. Like very, very similar to the Boise airport. Like the 2 lanes and like the garage right here.
Yeah. I've been there. I've been to Boise.
Hey, I've been there. I've been there.
I know what he's talking about.
With Wes, he would always be like, Big Nick, what's going on, baby? And then when I was around Julian and I met him in person, he called me Big Nick as well. I'm like, that's what Wes calls me. And he goes, that's what Wes calls everyone, bro. And it was this moment where I realized, I'm not special. Like, I'm not the only big one.
All right, yo, peep this. One of my students,
55K payout just got approved from Apex. 17 emails of 27, all of these. Absolute beast.
Hypnix, if you're watching this, congrats, brother. You're killing it, as well as everybody else. I feel like we've been seeing some massive payouts recently.
Facts.
Crazy. So, dude, super hyped. I love seeing these guys win, dude. It's crazy.
That's why he does it. That's why he does
That's
it.
why I do it, man.
Go!
Oh, that's pretty vibey.
Oh, this place is fantastic.
Oh, actually vibes.
Come on in, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Bicycle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Boo Boo Bridger. Casuals, but...
Alrighty.
I sit next to Julian, and I could have my backup right there.
Oh, yeah.
What if I do for the crab cakes, the apple sauce, for the pork chop, and what if I do for the lamb chops?
Thank you.
Do you not think that sharpens the people around you?
No, I don't. I think it's unproductive.
Yeah.
I think it's completely
In a sales team
unproductive.
setting, it's kind of like
You have to lead people to their own conclusions, because if it's a core belief that they have that they're stuck on, and you have to understand, they have to understand why they're stuck. It's not about you telling them why they're stuck. It's just like a sales position.
Yeah, you can't tell them they need the product.
There's no logic to it. It's
So we're currently in Austin. I just woke up. It's Thursday. We got Nicholas Verge in the robe. He's President Verge. Market opens in like 30 minutes. Thank you, good sir. Man's bringing me an espresso. Great guy. But it's absolutely great here. We got a really nice spot. So 30 minutes till market open. We'll see what happens. I'll see you guys on the charts. All right, market open here. Let's see what happens. I want to see first NQ pull back into this fair value gap. If ES can just like, I want to see a really bullish order flow in the morning from ES to go take this recent high. If we can get a new SMT from the bigger time frame, that would be huge, and have NQ still hold this model. Kind of like the similar trade that we had last week or earlier this week. I can't remember. We'll kind of see how the first 10-15 minutes or so plays out. I think right when ES takes this internal high, I think I'm probably going to scale into a position. All right, I entered a short here on NQ. Gonna have a tight stop at this high here, because this will be the SMT high, so this was the protected high in which I want to see. If we can reject this and start to get displacement on the internal model, then I'll add to it. So there's kind of two entries and two models that I'm looking for here. So the first entry is going to be here. If this gets stopped, then ES is going to go run the bigger time frame. Once the bigger time frame gets taken, we'll have a bigger time frame SMT, and then we'll look to trade that model if this one gets ran. All right, stopped that right there. So now I'm just going to kind of watch. I want to see ES come up, take the external high. That 15-minute, 5-minute starting to get ran through here. Equal lows still created. If NQ can come up and maybe take these internal buy-side levels and then have the SMT, I think that would be really nice. But we'll see. We do have an SMT from here now. Again, a lot of divergences, so I really like the way that this is looking. Just a lot of divergences between the assets here, so just waiting for NQ to show some clear signs that we want to sell. Right now, looks like we're just kind of running through it, being patient. We'll see how we react to this high here. Yeah, we got 950 macro that just opened up here too. This is how I'd want to see it become the reversal macro. Yeah, we got 7 minutes till noon, so we'll see how this starts to play out here as well. Like to see the 1 minute kind of just build more structure here, and then look to see a displacement through a low. The only thing that I think just doesn't look good with this is this just initial move. So we need to see something that looks more clear for me to take a short. Or I feel like the other entry that you would possibly take for this kind of model would be something like this. And just having your stop at that protected high. But I kind of want to just wait here.
Are you winning, son?
Anything crazy?
Oh, we actually have an SMT here. I think I'm gonna give this another shot here with 3 cons. And I'll look to scale in once we can have the change in the state. We do have another SMT here. I'm in light size, only 3 cons. And then I want to see just fat candles come through. If we can get some fat candles through this low, and we can get a change in the state, it'll be huge. That'll give us a really nice sign. And then I'll look to add to this position. So this is the first sign right here. We have an SMT at this low. If this SMT needs to get ran through. Because if not, then we're gonna want to run through these buy side SMTs. I think we have a lot of room to the downside on the bigger time frame. That's what I got to focus on here too. Bigger time frame, I think we have a lot of room to the downside. But we just got to start having more bearish order flow. Again, that bullish SMT is still holding bearish or holding bullish. We got to get through that. I'm going to take this off and wait for the change in the state. I don't like that. I'm gonna give myself one more try with this setup. All right, this looks good now. 15-minute, 1 hour should be wicking there nicely. I don't think that entry would have gotten stopped if I didn't just take that off. I think we might just dump here. I think I was just a little bit too scared on it. I didn't trust myself, didn't trust the model. Honestly, I think the problem today, at least just for me so far, has just I was just too scared for these SMTs getting broken through. I didn't trust it. I think that second entry was fine. My stop loss didn't even get hit. I just took it off early, and that's not something I should be doing. Because I would be in this trade right now, but now it's like looking for another entry. It might not be given. Because right now, it's kind of like being able to understand what the risk is going to look like. But also more so the clarity of it. If I was already in this position, there's no risk on. Stop would be at break even. Now again, like we talked about when it comes to SMTs, though, this SMT shouldn't outweigh this bigger time frame SMT. And right now, I think, yeah, I'm just going to watch this so far. We're back in equilibrium. I mean, normally this would be an entry here. I want to take shorts, SMT, soup high. I think this is going to be my last try here. 3 contracts, tight stop at the high. This is my last shot, and then I'll call it a day here. Probably not going to look to add to this unless it's just extremely clear of what that add would look like, because ES is already so far down. It's like, I just want to see NQ dump here. I think there's a lot of room to the downside on the bigger time frame. I'd have to wait for that to hold in though. So what I might do is I might just leave my runner, is I'll take 2 off at this low and leave my runner for standard deviation. Again, this is the low that I want to see NQ displaced through, right? And this would become the breaker. I need to see this just dump. I'm going to slowly de-risk and move my stop over time. Honestly, I think this was just a setup where I just hesitated on something I was confident with. I think this looks really, really good in how we build structure in the morning. I just think those 2 trades that I took, I think not the first one was iffy, was okay, but this second one I think was a great entry. This SMT should become protected high. And then I was expecting change in the state. My stop should be at this protected high. This should have never even been taken. My fill should be here for a short right now, and it should be completely risk off and just letting this run, and then having to deal with, again, trading is about recognizing the environments you put yourself in. The environments you put yourself in are going to cause you to make the bad decisions. I shouldn't even have been put in a new environment. It's not that this entry's bad. This entry's fine, right? Turtle Soup, SMT, it looks good. But then having to deal with having to do that after having literally the best entry I could possibly have, right? That's the problem. And so it's more so recognizing I just didn't have trust in what I knew and what my knowledge was for me to hold on to that. And that's kind of where, problems start to arise. So first TP hit, want to see a follow through, letting runner go. Yeah, this was literally the best entry. Recognized the manipulation, knew change in the state would happen after that, and I took it off. Ugh, it happens, but fuck. In my opinion, you did great today. Listening to you, went 4 for 4 today, and should pass 2 AVLs. Capital preservation is key, so I completely understand your thoughts and the approach I took today, and will continue. Much love, Jimmy. I'm glad that you're a beast, bro. Let's go. Second funded on the way, only about 2 trades away. Let's go. 1,200 for funded today. Let's go, SJ. You managed L's and then secured the W. Yes, sir. At the end of the day, always. Up 1380. Had to take it off early so I didn't hit 50% profit. Gotcha. Again, had to do it. Let's go. 1 for 3 on the day. Still up 1.4. Beautiful. We'll see if this runner can get hit. Guys, the bigger time frame SMT will play out, right? When we have this little internal SMT, this most of the time is going to just play with you, right? This is just going to play with you. This bigger time frame SMT will always play. Up 2,300 on my 5K personal, 18K payout today on my prop account. Things have just shifted for me since joining this group. Let's go, Martin. You're a fucking beast, bro. You're a beast. I'm so excited. I'm interviewing Martin today, guys. So that'll be up on the YouTube. But I've been seeing Martin's success. I'm sure you guys have as well. So I'm gonna dive deep into this man's mind, and we're gonna see
Sold my runner at 490 to secure the profits. Didn't want it running up and taking away good additional profit. Is it bad long term to not leave the runner for SD? Where my question is you said you sold your runner at 490. Your runner at 490. Oh, 490. Okay. I think a runner is for a reason, right? If there's a reason to leave a runner, then leave a runner, right? What's the reason to leave a runner here? Bigger time frame SMT is bearish. We're way up in this range. SD projection has been taken. What's the reason why market needs to go back? What happens when the standard deviation gets projected? We expect to go back to equilibrium, and there's sell side resting below for us to go back to equilibrium. So like all these things are things in which we are looking to expect to see, right? So there's reasons for price to go lower, right? When there's a reason for price to go lower, leave a runner. There we go. Day 4. Let's go. How much? What's the day looking like? Again, we should be up so much more, but we'll take it. 300, 301. All right. Calling it there. Again, another day where we should be up way more than we are, but even when we're not up more, we're still fucking killing it. That is how you trade. Guys, I hope that when you see this, when you see us come together and when we see like all of this happen, even when we make mistakes, we most of the time either still win or we lose small. And it's because we are focused on building habits, practicing good habits, getting satisfaction out of doing what we should be doing. We don't give a fuck to make money. We don't care to pass a funded account. We don't care to get a payout, because all of that shit will already manifest itself if we simply focus on building good habits and building satisfaction from doing what we should be doing. Vlog. Yes, sir. Sheesh. Let's go, baby. There we go. An account like this, something that you have to realize is the psychological aspect that I now am put into that I can't focus on, of being like, hey, I haven't had a red day. So when I go into a day, I will eventually have a red day, right? I will eventually have a red day on this challenge. But that is something that you can't be focused on. And a lot of the times, this is what normally happens, right? How many times has this happened to you guys, where you'll have a green streak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, whatever it is, and then that next one red day like blows almost all of it, if not like half of the profit, right? Because you're expecting, you're attached to the idea of a green day, right? You're attached to the idea of a green day and keeping that streak. And that's something that we can't focus on, and you need to completely get out of your mind, right? So I will eventually have a red day on this challenge. I don't know when that will be. Could have been today. Thankfully, we got a good entry, but overall, happy with the day. Lessons for the day. Trust your conviction. Trust your risk. You put your PT, you put your stop loss, you trust it when you have conviction for the setup. Alrighty, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be productive. Go journal. I will see you guys tonight for the charting session. Peace out, guys. All right, so we're going to go over the journal right now, go over the trades that we took today, kind of run you guys through a little bit about the decisions I made, what I did right, what I did wrong, run you guys through what I saw, and just kind of overall where we are at with the account. So looking at our stats right now, we're on a good pace. Net P&L is up 2,000 on our first 4 days. Win percentage, 57%. This should actually be higher because one of these losses, this one right here, was I tried to take a screenshot and accidentally command sold a contract and then immediately closed it. So it should be higher than that. Profit factor, 6.7. That's fantastic. Daily win percentage is still at 100%. Average win to loss ratio is 5.02, which is great. Average win is 600. Average loss is around 122. So today we are up $285. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm kind of upset with my performance today. Today should be at least a $1,000 day, 500 to 1,000, if not more. So we're gonna jump into the trades. I lost two trades today, and one excluding the mistake trade. So 1 win, 2 losses. But I want to go over what these trades look like and kind of my bias with them. So going into the day, looking at kind of the journal here. Actually, we'll go into the actual market here. So going into the day, my bias of what I wanted to see was a sell-off. If we look at the bigger time frame, the initial standard deviation projection that we had from this manipulation leg had been hit. We were continuing to respect it, and we just continued to build divergences here. ES came up, continued to make new highs. NQ did not. Had displacement here. It came up again and put in another SMT. Now, going into the morning, we actually had an SMT here, and this is kind of what created really the first trade that I took this morning. So if we can kind of go back here, and I'll show you guys what this looked like. Going into the morning, this is what price action looked like. We had an SMT here. So what I wanted to see is this was my displacement, and we had a really nice 5-minute fair value gap here. Market ended up opening and ended up creating equal lows. We bounced, put in an equal low, and then came back to this 5-minute fair value gap. When I saw this, I zoomed in, and I was looking to see if there's any sort of manipulation leg, SMT, anything that we could possibly form here. Price came up. At this point in time, we ended up putting an SMT here, and I took a short position in this fair value gap pretty early, honestly, with a stop up here, targeting new lows and then a continuation. This quickly got ran through to the upside. The thing with this trade that I kind of should have waited for, and the mistake with this one is I knew ES was most likely going to draw higher because we were so bullish. When ES opened, we came down, swept these two recent equal lows, held this bullish imbalance, and we still had this we still had this bigger time frame. This generated buy side level, this generated buy side level. And the way that ES was printing price action in the morning, I could just tell that the order flow was most likely going to be bullish, and ES was going to draw towards that new highs. And again, if ES is going to draw towards these new highs, NQ is going to most likely break through this 5-minute fair value gap. So that ended up getting ran through. I think I took a $200 loss there. That should have been honestly like a $100 loss. So price ended up coming up. We then, at this point, I was more so just waiting to see how price would react once ES took that high. So ES ended up taking the high, and then NQ ended up taking these relative equal highs here, and then created a buy side or an SMT at the highs now that ES had taken this external high right here. So now that there was an SMT on the bigger time frame, I was then looking to take another entry. And this is where I took my second entry, which was right here on NQ. Once we put in this internal SMT, let me kind of clear up the charts a little bit so we can see this better. I'll show you guys. I'll redraw this in. Once we put in this SMT, I knew that this was going to most likely be the protected high. And on the 5-minute, or sorry, the 1 minute, this was going to be our change in the state of delivery. I wanted to see this high get put in and then displace through this low and then have a market maker sell model. So basically, I was expecting to see something like this, put in this high, come down, displace, pull back, and then continue lower, right? This is what I was seeing. Market maker buy model, came back up, took buy side, and then I was expecting the sell model to the downside once we would displace. Now, I entered early and didn't wait for the displacement because of this SMT. Once we have this SMT, I can recognize this is most likely going to be the manipulation leg. So I'm expecting this high to become the protected high, which is the one that we just put in. So I zoomed into the 15 second. I jumped into a short position. NQ ended up selling, and we ended up putting in a baby SMT at these lows. Now, something that I wanted to focus on today, and we were talking with the team a lot, and something that I want to go over with you guys in this video, is this trade should have been perfect. The mistake that I made with this is I overthought it. I didn't trust myself and the conviction that I had for this trade, and it happens. But my goal is to be completely transparent and honest with you guys as to what the mistakes are and the reality of growing this account, and stuff like this does happen. The mistake that I made is I didn't trust this setup, and I broke my rules when it comes to following my stop loss. My stop was at the protected high, price came up, and I decided to take it off early. When I saw this fast move to the upside, I just decided to take it off pretty much to the tick. I got stopped out pretty much right here. And then price immediately sold back off, and then we had displacement towards the downside. So my fill on my short today should have been right here, and then the trade that I then took later should have been my add to the position. So I should have been in a total of 5 contracts from this high to this entry here, averaged at around here with a stop here, and I should be in like 5 contracts here. And if I had to go back and I stop out of this replay and we actually see the risk that I would be putting on, this is what should have happened. My risk should be here, and I should be in a total of 5 contracts, and it would have been at least a 1K day, and that's just to this sell side, and that's just to the sell side level, right? That's just to the sell side level. I should have been leaving runners to standard deviation, and it would have been 1 to 2K day, right? But because I failed to recognize this, and I just took it off early out of fear, I ended up not only giving back more money to the market, but then being put in a situation where I'm then looking for an entry that is harder to take because, you just take 2 losses, right? And trading is not about not being emotional, right? And something that I talk about a lot is you are a human being. You are inevitably going to be emotional when you are in the market and when you're taking trades. Now, the more you do it, of course, you're going to be less emotional, right? I'm definitely less emotional than I was when I first started trading. This wasn't an emotional trade, though. What happens is when you put yourself in the environment to then make that decision is when it becomes harder. Because I put myself in the situation after this to then take this entry is a lot harder to take because of these two losses being taken in the morning. It would be a lot easier to take the setup if I'm already in a position here and I can add to it and have literally zero risk. Because what happens is my initial fill is here, I average in here, my average gets filled to here, and then this becomes a protected high because of this SMT, and I can then move my stop to break even, right? So there's literally zero risk on this trade, and I should be winning a 1K to 2K on this trade, right? And that's how you position yourself, right? But because I failed to do so, I then put myself in the environment in which I'm most likely to become emotional, right? So trading is more so about recognizing the environments you put yourself in to be emotional, stepping away from them if possible, or being able to have the mental fortitude to do so. Today was one of those trades where I wasn't down much. I could afford to give this another try. And in the recording, I said this was my last try in this model. It was a great entry. I'm glad that I was able to catch this because I would have taken this either way. So after this got stopped out, we then had the displacement of the downside, changing the state on the 1 minute. We pulled back. I believe we had a 5 minute fair value gap here that we tapped into. No, we didn't. It was more so just the 2 minute. So we did have an imbalance here. But the reason for really taking this entry is the breaker here and this SMT. So this becomes the turtle soup. If we zoom back lower, this SMT that gets put in, this is the turtle soup. We rebalance initially. Wrong thing. We rebalance initially to the breaker and the fair value gap, displace, generate buy side, or generate sell side. So all of this, right, becomes internal model generated sell side, generated sell side, generated sell side. Takes the internal high. This is the SMT with the soup in an area in which we expect to reject to the downside in relationship to the model. Enter back short, tight stop at the high, again, expecting it to become a protected high like I should have done here, but I didn't. Entered in, took off 2 of my contracts here, let my last contract go to the runner, and again, left still a lot of room on the table. If there was a runner I should have had, again, I should have been in 5 contracts so I could leave more runners, but I failed to do so. Again, it's the environments you put yourself in. Because I took that trade off early, it changed all of my decision making because that's how I am as a trader, right? If I was in 5 contracts here in the positioning from this trade here and I was not stopped, and then I added 2 contracts here, so I'm now in 5 contracts, 2 of my contracts get taken off here. 2 of my contracts get taken off here, and then 1 of my contracts gets taken off here. So I catch way more of the move. I don't need to catch all of this below. All I'm looking for is just the sell side in which I'm confident with, but I'm still confident with this. But the fact that I don't have the contracts to necessarily do so, and I put myself in the environment to make that decision is the problem, right? When you can control the environments you're going to put yourself in based off of your decision making, that is when you will either see failure or success because you then have to make a decision on the spot to do so. And that's the hard part, right? When you're confident and you just do what you need to do, it's easy. So kind of the big lesson learned from today, and there's kind of multiple things that I want you guys to take away from this, is number one, even when mistakes are made, if you're doing what you need to do, you're still going to either lose not a lot of money, you're going to have a small loss, or you're still going to end up profitable, right? Even on a day where I made multiple mistakes, right? This entry, not so good. This took it off way too early, broke my rules. Took the entry I was still confident with, still ended up green on the day, right? Even when I break my rules, I have the habits in place to protect myself with a small loss or still a small win. As well, another thing I want you guys to take away from this day and from this video is set your PT, set your stop loss, and just walk away. If you have conviction with the setup, trust the model, trust what you know. I had confidence that this was a protected high, and in the moment, I let fear take over because of, a big part of also what you guys have got to recognize too, and something that some of you will have to deal with, some of you don't have to deal with. It's more so for me because this is a public series, but psychologically in the back of my head, I'm thinking about, I have to keep the green streak. I want it to look clean, I want it to look good, and I want to trade the best that I possibly can, right? I don't want to end on a red day. And so that also is in, the back of my mind subconsciously. And again, that's not a good thing, but that's just a part of it with having a series like this. So that's something that also was kind of going through my head after the market was like, hey, that was probably something I was thinking about in this moment. I definitely need to make sure that's not going to continue into tomorrow. And it's just being aware of those things that are happening, right? It's being aware of me sitting here saying, hey, just the idea of me knowing that I'm doing this challenge and me wanting to stay green, it doesn't matter, right? I'm not focused on the money. I'm not focused on anything. I don't need to prove anything to you guys. My goal is just to show you and trade like how I normally do. And that's something that normally I wouldn't be doing. I shouldn't be doing, which is taking it off, having fear, trying to have, a green streak, whatever that is. I just need to be trading what I'm seeing and doing what I need to be doing. And today, sometimes I did, sometimes I did not. And that's kind of why I'm not really happy to the day, because I don't need to be sometimes doing something right and sometimes doing something wrong. I need to be always doing something right. And that is the constant race towards success with trading. It's like, even if you're profitable, you are forever a student. You are forever improving. And as soon as you think that you have made it, you've made it to the top, and you stop working, you stop recognizing, you stop being aware of your mistakes, and you're not focused on improving, that is when you will fail and the market will push you back into the hole. So always focus on building improvements, always focus on improving as a trader. So overall today, up on the day, up 280, should be up 300. This was where I tried to take a screenshot. And I ended up taking I don't even know what the command is. I think it's Shift Options S for a screenshot and then Shift Command S for a fucking sell. Whoever decided to put those two commands together, I don't know. They should be fired from TradingView. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see what the rest of the week brings us. Overall, solid start to the challenge. Should be up more. It happens. We'll see if we can continue the streak. Not focused on continuing the streak, but I'm focused on taking good trades. We'll see if we get some solid opportunity. We've been actually getting some really nice setups recently, so we'll see how Friday happens. We'll see if we get anything good on Friday, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.